Hi everyone, I am Whitroy. Welcome to this audiobook learning video.
Hi everyone, my name is John and I work alongside Whitroy as an electrical tutor.
In this video, we will introduce ASNZS 4836, which covers safe working on or near low voltage and extra low voltage electrical installations and equipment. Before we begin, I want to make something clear about this audiobook. This is not a word-for-word reading of ASNZS 4836-2023. The standard itself must always be read and followed exactly when you are doing electrical work or preparing for the EWRB exam. The official standard is the legal and technical reference. If there is any difference, missing detail, or possible mistake in this audiobook, you must follow the official document. What this audiobook does is take the key ideas from the standard and explain them in simple spoken language, the kind of language you can listen to while driving, working, or revising. It helps you understand what the clauses mean, why the rules exist, and how they apply in real electrical work. So please think of this audiobook as a learning companion, not a replacement for the actual standard. All right, let's get started.
Section 1. Scope and General. Today we're going to start ASNZS 4836, Safe Working on or near low voltage and extra low voltage electrical installations and equipment. This standard is about safe work practices. It is not only for electricians, it also applies to other workers who may work on or near electrical installations or electrical equipment. The main purpose is to help workers recognise electrical hazards, control the risks, and work in a safer way around low voltage and extra low voltage systems. Low voltage, or LV, can still kill. Extra low voltage, or ELV, may sound safer, but it can still create risk, especially where there is stored energy, high current, batteries, DC supplies, arc flash risk, or other dangerous site conditions. So the key message is simple. Before work starts, identify the hazard, assess the risk, and choose the right controls. Clause 1.1. Scope. Clause 1.1 explains what ASNZS 4836 is about. This standard provides safety principles, guidelines, and work procedures for people working on or near low voltage and extra low voltage electrical installations and equipment. The main hazards include arc blast, arc flash, electric shock, and electrocution. In simple terms, this standard helps workers understand what can go wrong, how serious the risk can be, and what controls should be used before starting work. It applies to electrical workers and non-electrical workers. It also covers both AC and DC systems. In New Zealand, the same safe working ideas may also apply when work is done on or near electrical works. This clause also tells us that warning statements are used where serious injury or death could occur. So when a warning appears in the standard, it must be treated seriously. Clause 1.2. Application. Clause 1.2 explains how the standard may be used. ASNZS 4836 may be applied through electrical safety legislation in Australia and New Zealand. For New Zealand electrical workers, this means the standard should be read together with New Zealand legal requirements, workplace procedures, employer requirements, and any site-specific safety rules. The key idea is simple. ASNZS 4836 gives safe working guidance, but the legal requirements and workplace procedures must also be followed. Clause 1.3. Normative references. Clause 1.3 explains that ASNZS 4836 refers to other standards and documents. Some of these documents support the requirements of this standard. They include standards for ladders, protective footwear, insulating covers, eye and face protection, respiratory protection, safety helmets, protective gloves, ASNZS 3000, RCD devices, safety transformers, insulating gloves, insulating mats, and electrical arc hazard PPE guidance. PPE means personal protective equipment. The teaching point is that safe electrical work does not depend on one document only. It often relies on several related standards, especially when selecting tools, test equipment, ladders, insulating mats, gloves, respiratory protection, and other PPE. Clause 1.4 Terms and Definitions. Clause 1.4 explains that words used in this standard have specific meanings. Some meanings come from ASNZS 3000, and some are defined directly in this section. These definitions are important because safe work depends on clear understanding. If workers misunderstand words such as isolated, de-energized, energized, work near, or work on, they may make unsafe decisions on site. Clause 1.4.1 Approved. Approved means accepted or endorsed by the relevant organization for a particular purpose. In simple terms, something is approved only when the correct organization has accepted it for that use. It is not enough for the item to simply look suitable. Clause 1.4.2 Arc blast. Arc blast means the sudden heating and expansion of air and molten metal caused by an arc fault. It can create pressure, noise, flying debris, and molten metal spray. The key idea is that arc blast is a mechanical and explosive type of hazard. It is related to the current, the fault level, and the way the equipment is arranged. Clause 1.4.3 Arc fault. An arc fault is an unwanted electrical discharge through air. In simple terms, electricity jumps across a gap where it should not be jumping. This can create heat, light, sound, pressure, and serious danger to people and equipment. Clause 1.4.4 Arc fault condition. An arc fault condition is a situation where arcs are created because electrical equipment has failed or because a fault has occurred. This condition can lead to arc flash, arc blast, burns, equipment damage, and other serious hazards. Clause 1.4.5 Arc flash. Arc flash means the heat, plasma gas, light, and sound released from an arc fault. It is the burning and flashing effect produced by the arc. The danger is not only the bright flash. It can also include extreme heat, pressure, molten metal, and serious burns. Clause 1.4.6 Arc flash boundaries. Arc flash boundaries are the distances from energized equipment that should be maintained to manage the arc flash risk. In simple terms, the closer a person is to the possible arc source, the higher the risk. These boundaries help workers decide where people may stand, who should be kept away, and what PPE may be needed. Clause 1.4.7 Asbestos. Asbestos is a natural mineral made up of very small fibers. The safety concern is that these fibers can be dangerous when disturbed and released into the air. In electrical work, asbestos may be found in older switchboards, panels, enclosures, insulation material, or older building materials around electrical equipment. Clause 1.4.8 Competent person. A competent person is someone who has the right knowledge and skill to do a required task correctly. That competence may come from training, qualifications, experience, or a combination of these. In simple terms, a person must be capable of doing the job safely and correctly, not just willing to do it. Clause 1.4.9 De-energized. De-energized means separated from all sources of supply. However, it does not automatically mean the equipment is isolated, earthed, or fully out of service. This is an important distinction. Something may be de-energized, but further safety steps may still be needed before it is safe to touch or work on. Clause 1.4.10. Discharge. Discharge means removing stored electrical energy from a device or the release of that electrical energy. This is often done in a controlled way using a suitable device. A common example is removing stored energy from a capacitor before work begins. Clause 1.4.11. Disconnected. Disconnected means physically separated from a source of electrical energy. This may happen by switching or by physically removing circuit connections. The key idea is that the electrical path has been broken. Clause 1.4.12. Earth. Known. A known earth is an earth point that has already been tested and confirmed as connected to the installation earthing system. This matters because using an unconfirmed earth point can give a false sense of safety during testing. Clause 1.4.13. Earthed. Earthed means connected to the general mass of Earth. The detailed earthing requirements are found in ASNZS 3000. In simple terms, earthing provides a controlled connection to Earth for safety and fault protection. Clause 1.4.14. Electrical equipment. Electrical equipment includes wiring systems, switchgear, control gear, accessories, appliances, luminaires, and fittings. It also includes equipment used for generating, converting, storing, transmitting, distributing, or using electrical energy. In simple language, it covers the many parts that make up an electrical system or are connected to it. Clause 1.4.15. Electrical incident. An electrical incident is an electrical event that may injure a person or damage property. It does not have to result in actual injury before it is taken seriously. If it could cause harm or damage, it should be treated as an incident. Clause 1.4.16. Electrical installation. An electrical installation is electrical equipment installed to convey, control, measure, or use electricity where electricity is supplied or will be supplied for use. It usually starts at the point of supply and continues through the fixed wiring system. Portable or stationary equipment connected by plug and socket outlet is generally not treated as part of the fixed electrical installation unless the socket outlet is used to connect sections of the fixed installation. Clause 1.4.17. Electrical work. Electrical work means physical work such as installing, maintaining, repairing, altering, removing, or adding to an electrical installation. It also includes supervising that type of work. The key point is that electrical work is not only new installation work, it also includes changes, repairs, removal, and supervision. Clause 1.4.18. Electrically safe work condition. An electrically safe work condition is a state where a conductor or circuit part has been isolated from energized parts, locked or tagged as required, tested to confirm there is no voltage, and temporarily earthed if that is needed for personal protection. In simple terms, it is the safe condition we want before work starts. Clause 1.4.19. Energized. Energized means connected to a source of electrical supply or affected by hazardous induced or capacitive voltages. This means a part can be dangerous even if it is not directly connected in the way we first expect. Induced voltage and stored or capacitive voltage must also be considered. Clause 1.4.20. Fault finding. Fault finding means using measurements or tests on electrical installations or equipment to locate a fault or prove that something operates correctly. This may involve applying test instruments to different parts of a circuit or item of equipment to understand what is happening. Clause 1.4.21. Hazard. A hazard is a potential source of harm. In simple terms, it is anything that could hurt a person, damage property, or create an unsafe condition. Clause 1.4.22. Hazardous area. A hazardous area is an area where an explosive atmosphere is present, or may be present in enough quantity that special precautions are required. In these areas, normal electrical equipment or unsafe work practices can create ignition and cause fire or explosion. Clause 1.4.23. Incident energy. Incident energy is the amount of thermal energy reaching a surface at a certain distance from an electrical arc event. It is usually measured in calories per square centimetre. This value helps determine the possible burn risk and what level of PPE may be needed. Clause 1.4.24. Isolated. Isolated means separated from all possible sources of electrical energy and made unable to become energized unintentionally. This is stronger than simply being switched off. The key idea is that all sources are considered and accidental re-energizing is prevented. Clause 1.4.25. Isolation, isolating function. Isolation is the function used to cut off supply from the whole installation or from a separate part of it by separating it from every source of electrical energy for safety reasons. In simple terms, isolation is about making the work area safe by removing the supply properly. Clause 1.4.26. Isolator. An isolator is a safety device that provides suitable separation in the open position for the voltage and insulating medium involved. The important point is that an isolator must create a safe break when it is open. Clause 1.4.27. Material containing asbestos. Material containing asbestos means material that includes asbestos. The safety concern is not only the presence of asbestos, but the risk created when it is disturbed, damaged, drilled, cut, or handled incorrectly. Clause 1.4.28. May. May means there is an option. It gives permission or choice, but it does not make something compulsory. Clause 1.4.29. On or near. On or near means close to exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts. The phrase does not apply in the same way if the energized part is safely shielded, segregated, barricaded, or covered with suitable insulating material so accidental contact is prevented. It can also include work that may make conductors or conductive parts become exposed and energized. Clause 1.4.29.1. Work near. Work near means doing a task within 3 meters of exposed, energized conductors or live conductive parts, or electrical equipment. This can include electrical work and also other work, such as cleaning, pest control, or similar tasks. The key idea is that even non-electrical work can become electrically risky when it is close to live parts. Clause 1.4.30. 1.29.2 Work on. Work on means doing a task within 500 millimeters of exposed energized conductors or live conductive parts or electrical equipment. This includes work such as constructing, installing, connecting, maintaining, repairing, altering, testing, verifying, assessing, inspecting, removing, or adding to an installation or equipment. In simple terms, this is the closer and higher risk work zone. Clause 1.4.30 Operating work. Operating work includes operating switches, links, fuses, or other removable connections. It also includes proving conductors are de-energized, earthing or short-circuiting, locking or tagging equipment, and putting up barriers or signs. This type of work is still safety related and must be treated carefully. Clause 1.4.31 Personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, means clothing, equipment, or substances that protect part or all of the body from foreseeable injury or disease at work. In this standard, PPE is important for managing risks such as electric shock, arc flash, burns, and other workplace hazards. Clause 1.4.32 Relevant authority. Relevant authority means an agency that is authorized by legislation or regulation to issue decisions, orders, or instructions about matters covered by this standard. In simple terms, it is the authority with legal power over the issue. Clause 1.4.33 Ripple-free DC. Ripple-free DC means a DC supply where the ripple content is not more than 10% RMS for sinusoidal ripple voltage. RMS means root mean square. The key idea is that extra low voltage DC limits depend on the supply being sufficiently smooth. Clause 1.4.34 Risk. Risk means the combination of how likely harm is to occur and how severe that harm could be. In safety work, we do not only ask, can this happen? We also ask, how bad could it be if it happens? Clause 1.4.35 Risk assessment. Risk assessment means the overall process of identifying risk, analysing risk, and evaluating risk. In simple terms, it is the process used to understand what could go wrong, how serious it is, and what should be done before work starts. Clause 1.4.36 Safety observer. A safety observer is a person specifically given the job of watching the work and warning against unsafe approach to electrical equipment, exposed energized conductors, live conductive parts, and other possible risks. The safety observer's role is to focus on safety, not to get distracted by doing other work. Clause 1.4.37 Shall. Shall means the statement is mandatory. In simple terms, if the standard says shall, it must be done. Clause 1.4.38 Should. Should means the statement is a recommendation. It is not the same as shall, but it still gives important guidance on good practice. Clause 1.4.39 Safe work method statement. A Safe Work Method Statement, or SWMS, is a document that sets out the work activities, the hazards from those activities, and the control measures used to manage the risks. In simple terms, it is a written plan for doing higher risk work safely. Clause 1.4.40. Testing. Testing means using test instruments or test equipment by a competent person. The key point is that testing must be done by someone who understands the test, the equipment, the limits, and the safety risks. Clause 1.4.41. Voltage. Voltage means the difference in electrical potential that normally exists between conductors, or between conductors and earth. In practical terms, voltage is what can drive current through a circuit, or through a person if unsafe contact occurs. Clause 1.4.41.1. Extra low voltage. Extra low voltage, or ELV, means voltage not exceeding 50 volts AC, or 120 volts ripple-free DC. Even though ELV is lower than low voltage, it still needs safe working practices, especially where other hazards are present. Clause 1.4.41.2. Low voltage. Low voltage, or LV, means voltage higher than extra low voltage, but not more than 1000 volts AC or 1500 volts DC. This is the main voltage range covered by ASNZS 4836. Clause 1.4.41.3. High voltage. High voltage, or HV, means voltage higher than low voltage. In simple terms, if the voltage is above the LV range, it is HV. Clause 1.4.42. Zero energy state. Zero energy state means the isolator position where the energy source has been considered dissipated and controlled. The key idea is that the equipment is not only switched off. The energy source has also been dealt with so the work can be made safe. That brings us to the end of Section 1 of ASNZS 4836. This section gives us the foundation for the rest of the standard. It explains what the standard covers, how it applies, which related documents support it, and the key words we must understand before moving into risk management, isolation, testing, safety equipment, supervision, PPE, and electrical incidents.